Okay, welcome back, everyone. Again, I have no idea what number episode this is. Do you mind telling the folks at home?
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 12. Wait, no,
Dang, you
13.
don't even know,
13. This is a
bro. It's just so many episodes. It's so hard to keep
this is
track.
a special one because we're doing two in a week. So usually it'd be easier to tell, but since it's back to back, we have another episode that hasn't even been uploaded yet. So that's why I didn't even know.
Oh, true. Just giving the audiences a little behind the scenes
Yeah, they're getting a peek
of our
at.
day to day operations.
Yeah, we have a massive staff over here, so we have a lot to manage with first time pictures.
Yeah, working a little overtime, but this episode, we're going to be talking about The Prestige, which is a Christopher Nolan movie that I think most people who watch it, they do really like it, but it's just not very talked about because he obviously has other movies that are huge cultural phenomenons. But yeah, this is your first time watching it. I didn't get to watch it because we had a nice little car chat on the way home. I was planning to watch it on the way home, and then you called me. I'm not blaming you, but an hour into our phone call, I was like, oh, fuck. I was supposed to be watching The Prestige again. But I've seen this movie like 4 times. But before we get into it, what have you been watching, reading, or consuming? What's your life look like?
Dude, nothing really, bro. Nothing crazy exciting. I've been stepping away from. I guess there's a difference, right, between reality TV show and then like regular TV. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
So
I would say
what do you
so.
call regular TV? Just regular TV? Like, what do you call it? TV
Yeah,
shows?
just television.
Television? Okay.
On Plex we label all that television series because I don't know, would Keeping Up with the Kardashians be considered a television series? Like,
I think that's more reality TV show, right?
yeah, just plain reality TV.
So I've been staying away from regular TV
Brain
series
rot.
and I've been in my reality TV show. So
You're in your brain rot era.
bro, Next Level Chef is not brain rot, bro. That's high quality right
Oh,
there.
next level chef. I thought you were talking about because you still watch Keeping Up with the
Kardashians. Well,
Kardashians,
yeah,
right?
that's one of my shows, so I gotta watch that. So, still watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm watching Next Level Chef. We miss so many episodes, and this is sometimes what I like when we have a bunch of shows, because some shows get put on the back burner. So when you get back to it, you have like 8 episodes. So the other night we watched like 3 Next Level Chef episodes in a row,
Oh,
and it just
nice. Does
feels.
that come out one by one? Like you're watching it as it comes out. It's
Yeah.
not all out like
Yep.
one season.
Yeah, so it's like weekly episodes. There's a new episode.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, and so I like shows like that because when you have a lot at once, it's kind of difficult to watch it all at one sitting, and so maybe you'll be able to watch wherever you can. But when you have a weekly show come out, it's just more satisfying because you're like, oh, I have something to look forward to. You can plan an hour for a day. So I know every Thursday Next Level Chef is gonna be out. Every Wednesday Keeping Up with the Kardashians is gonna be out. So also something that is not any TV show at all. It's actually a YouTube channel that me and Kaylin really love. That I don't know. I don't think you'll like them, but it might be something fun to watch because it's another challenge video. It's called ZHC, and basically what they do is they do like art challenges, and so it'll be like uh making art with.
What made you say I wouldn't like
Dude,
it?
you're a massive critic, bro. I swear your standards will be like, this is bullshit. I'm not watching no 40-minute colorful goo goo gaga BS. So I feel like you would be
I
like,
am a hater. I'm a natural. I was born and bred to be a hater, bro.
bro
I'm a
is
natural
bro was
hater.
born to be a critic, bro, because he will critique anything. And so this show is just like you. Not that you wouldn't like it, but you'd be like, I'd rather watch XYZ show instead than like a fun. But it's
Uh,
like a competition show, which is what's fun. It's like you have 5 artists and they'll make art out of gingerbread houses, and then they'll have challenges that can help them with the challenge or negatively impact them. So it'll be like, if you lose this challenge, you're handcuffed for an hour. But if you win this challenge, you can have someone's help for 20 minutes or a certain advantage that like would help. So me and Kaylin absolutely love this show. And she's gone as far as joining one of their Instagram like members only pages to like get the inside
Damn,
scoop.
obsessed. She's
Like
obsessed,
they
bro.
hadn't posted in like 2 weeks. She's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh, they said that they're having problems with their editors." I'm like, "Dang, this girl's doing
I
investigation work."
know. She's into the drama,
Yeah, she's
everything.
like, they missed a weekly upload. What the heck? So that's been another one of our shows because they come out with weekly series. So that's also something that we put. That's one of our high priority watches. Like if that's on and we had like three others, we'd probably watch the ZHC just because of how invested we are. So nothing too crazy on the watch list, kind of keeping it simple, but I still haven't finished season 2 of Severance. I still have 2 episodes. So I
Damn.
need to finish that. I just haven't found time, but by next episode I should have already finished season 2 of Severance. How about you though? Anything new on the watching list, on the silver screen, on the what's it called? The Dolby Atmos TV, bro? The black pixel TV. Yeah, I don't even know the name. I'm going
The
blank. The
OLED. Dolby
OLED T
Atmos
the
is a sound
on
system.
the
So like, what
OLED
sound system?
TV, bro, with the blacker blacks, bro. What's on that screen, bro? What are you watching?
For the past like 2 weeks, I've been watching this show that I keep forgetting to bring up on the pod, but it's so funny.
Uh
It's
huh.
called Righteous Gemstones. Do you know who Danny McBride is?
No.
You've seen him in several comedies. If you want, I'd recommend looking up a little picture of him because you've definitely for sure seen him
What's his
somewhere.
name?
Because Danny McBride.
Let me see.
And so he's always guest starred as like a very, very funny side character in several movies. Like what's that one movie where the world is ending?
This is the end.
Yeah, this is the
Pineapple
end. Pineapple
Express.
Express, Hot Rod. He's always been like a super funny side character. And he plays pretty much the same character in each movie, but each time it's never like it never gets old. And I had no idea that he wasn't just a side character, but he's creating shows on the side that he stars in, and he's like a main character. And I had no idea that he had that repertoire. I thought he was just like a buddy of all these main actors, like Dave Frank or James Franco, Seth Rogen, and they would call him up to do like a little scene or whatever to be funny as a guest, but I had no idea that he was creating TV shows, writing, starring, and even directing certain episodes. So I started off watching his other one called Eastbound and Down, which is about he's the main character where he was an all-star MLB baseball player, but his career took a huge dive. So it went so low that he becomes a substitute teacher. His high school that he used to be at. So his career's in the drain. It's about his little adventures. But the second show that I'm watching from him called Righteous Gemstones is it's about a mega church. Like like those Joel Osteen mega churches like in Houston. So he plays one member of the family of the gemstones. And so the show is called Righteous Gemstones. It's so funny because it shows the inner workings almost of like a it's not like oh we're exposing the church. It's more just like what if we were very candid comedically about a righteous family that is obviously not very Christian like, but they still present themselves as Christians. And it's never because usually whenever Christians, this could be a controversial topic, but the bad Christians never present themselves as if like, oh, I know for a fact I'm pretending to be Christian. They're just they use Christianity in a way to almost justify their bad actions, and that's how these people are in the show. So it's starring Danny McBride, Eddie Patterson, Adam Devine, John Goodman, Cassidy Freeman. And the show is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen because it's super, they all have heavy Southern accents, and it's a concept that I've never really seen before. It's also starring this really funny actor. His name is Walton Goggins. Do you remember that one guy in The Hateful Eight where he was arguing with Samuel L. Jackson and he's like from the South he's like, my daddy fought in the war. Do you remember him?
In like the bar scene.
Yeah, or when they're in the carriage and they pick up that sheriff. He's like, I'm the new sheriff at this local town. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's a member of the family as well. And he is so good in every role he plays. But I highly recommend the show if anybody's looking for something funny to watch because it just gets so crazy. And yeah. Did I recommend the show in the last episode? I feel like I'm having a deja vu.
This show,
Yeah.
the mega church one.
Yeah.
No, this is my
No?
first time here because I was gonna ask you: is it like completely satire where they're just completely making fun of it, or is it like a
So
real plot?
it's not very there is a real plot and it's a very well made show that has like very good cinematography. It doesn't look cheap. They have a lot of famous actors and actresses who guest star on it, like Eric Andre. He's on it. They have other very famous actors that I'm not going to spoil. But it's not like directly like, oh, look, we're making fun of Christians. It's more like just having a mega church family and developing comedy from that dynamic of those people who have private jets, but they're also Christians. Like they have three private jets, and they labeled on all of them. One is called the Father, the Son, and the third is called the Holy Spirit. And yeah, and so it's never like trying to make Christians look bad necessarily. It's just like, obviously, if you are a pastor who is profiting millions and millions and keeping that money for yourself and buying mansions, like that's not even a debate for Christians. Even Christians don't think highly of that. And so it's not a very anti-religious show. It just finds a lot of hilarious comedy from mega church in the South where they all have heavy accents and they don't even realize how out of touch with reality they are. And Danny McBride is amazing. So is Eddie Patterson and Adam Devine. You definitely know Adam Devine as well. But I'd highly recommend it for anyone looking to see something funny.
That's actually funny because I've seen those memes where it's like Christian memes,
Uh-huh.
and it'll be like, I cheated on my husband and I told him and we prayed about it because the devil entered my life or something like that. And it's like, I bet they'll probably do something along those lines where it's like,
there's almost an exact scene like that where,
oh really?
Yeah, there's like, so one of the wives is hanging out with all the other wives and they tell her like, oh, you must really enjoy this pastor life because of like how much it pays off. And she's like, oh no, we don't get anything. And then they're like sitting inside of a mansion and the other wife goes, really? What about this house? And she goes, oh, this whole thing? And then she starts saying like, oh, come on, you do. You know you do. And she's like, no, we don't. But I see how the devil just got inside you for a second. But it's okay now. It's okay now. It's over. And it's just like, wow. Like, we know not all Christians are like that, but we also know that Christians like that exist. And it's so funny seeing it portrayed in the TV show. And so, highly recommend. Super fun. I showed Alden, and Alden watched the first season probably in one day because of how funny it was.
What's the name of this episode show again?
The Righteous Gemstones. So
The Righteous Gemstone.
Their last name is Gemstone. So that's why it's called The Righteous Gemstones, because they're very righteous people.
That's funny. I think that show I might actually check out because I've been looking for like a comedy show, and then if it's Christian related, it might have some funny things that I might like.
I would love to hear what you think about it because it gets crazy. It's not just I'm not going to give anything away, but most of the plot was stuff that I didn't expect because I knew what it was about. But as soon as the story got going, it all took me by surprise. And even by telling you the concept, you have no idea what the story is going to develop into. And I would be excited to hear what you have to say about the first episode too. Just the first episode is crazy.
I think I'll definitely check that one out. What's it on? The server? Or
yeah,
Hulu?
It's on our server. I think Olden would probably put it on his server as well if you ask him.
Okay, I have both of your guys' servers, so
okay.
I'll I got access like that VIP.
Also, Skylar Gisondo is he's one of the characters, and he is playing the new Jimmy Olsen in the new Superman movie.
Oh yeah, you told me about the new Jimmy Olsen from another movie or TV show.
Yeah, I think in the last pod I was trying to tell you who he was, but I didn't have his name pulled up. But
Oh, okay.
I was telling you how I think he's the most like he's the perfect casting for Jimmy Olsen. He has the the body type, he has the red hair, the face. He just is the spitting image of a Jimmy Olsen. So I'm excited to see what how he portrays him in the new movie.
I know people are probably tired of hearing us talk about Superman because we've been talking about him for the past like four pods, but the more we talk about it, the more hype I am to see the new Superman movie because it feels like I finally got into Superman at like the right
Oh
moment because we're about to have like a massive cultural event
yeah,
where all the fans of Superman are all gonna get together to watch this movie, and because it's gonna be the next like staple or next step of the Superman character.
yeah.
So I'm hyped to watch it. The more and more we talk about, it, I'm like, okay, now I'm even more hyped. Even though you said one character is the perfect Jimmy Olsen, I'm like, okay, yeah, hell yeah, Jimmy Olsen. That's the freaking man, bro. That's Superman's best friend. I
I
want to see who
know,
that is.
right?
Oh,
I get excited talking to you because I don't realize I don't mean this in a bad way, but you don't know that much about DC superheroes.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of cartoons at least that you haven't seen or even just the Superman lore, and that's rare
yeah,
that someone's a Superman fan. Like I consider it a good thing because it's like when you get to discover this stuff for the first time, that's more exciting
right.
than having watched it 10 times already.
Yeah, The Flash will always be number one in my heart, but I believe Superman easily climbed up to spot number two because I don't even think
Really?
I had
Because of
spot number
the cartoon?
the cartoon, and like now I just know more about him
That makes
more.
me
Like
so happy
he's
that
he's the one
you
I've
like him.
connected with the most now.
Hell
Like I
yeah.
haven't. I don't know the besides the Flash, like maybe Batman would have been number two, but
I would have thought you would be a
Superman.
huge Batman fan, but I guess you're not.
Yeah, I do like
You're
Batman.
not?
I do like Batman. I love
Okay.
my Dark Boys.
Okay.
So he's still cool. He's still cool. He's still cool. Speaking of something cool, bro, I think we have a really cool movie to talk about here, bro.
I think we do too. So, I wanted you to watch The Prestige.
Yeah,
That's what
bro.
you did.
What is that what we're reviewing? The Prestige?
We are. So,
Okay.
let me drop the synopsis on our audience real quick. The
Drop it on
Prestige,
him.
directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Hugh Jackman,
The goat.
Christian
The
Bale,
goat.
Scarlett
The
Johansson.
goatist.
This is a movie, a period thriller set in Edwardian London where two rival magicians, partners until the tragic death of an assistant during a show, feud bitterly after one of them performs the ultimate magic trick, teleportation. His rival tries desperately to uncover the secret of his routine, experimenting with dangerous new science as his quest takes him to the brink of insanity and jeopardizes the lives of everyone around the pair. So, this was actually after Batman Begins. I did not know that, but I just looked now and I saw that this movie came out in 2006 and Batman Begins came out in 2005. So this was like, I guess Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan like working together so much, they just had to do it again.
So cool. Like we talked about this the other day of like, you become a big director and you can just kind of have anybody you want. But imagine being like Christian Bale or like maybe Leonardo DiCaprio where you're like buddy buddies with like one of the best directors.
Right.
So every movie you get in with them, is going to be a banger.
Yeah, like they team up and like Infinity Stones or
No,
something. Like
for
when they
real.
collect all of them, they just power up and it's the ultimate
Bro,
movie.
this movie had the Infinity Stone. But it was also really, really young, like early on in some of these guys' careers. Like, yeah, Christian Bale had done Batman, and Hugh Jackman was Wolverine, and Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if she'd had anything then, but they were still, and they had
Yeah.
the guy from The Hobbit. It had David Bowie. Like, it had like a lot of people who I don't know how late into some of those other
Andy
people.
Serkis,
Yeah, Andy Serkis was the guy. Um,
Michael Caine.
I don't know how early on in the career it was, but it's like it's so for me like refreshing seeing like younger actors because it's like dude, like you were really grinding back in the day, and then now we see them as these massive celebrities. So I didn't
Yeah.
know Christian Bale had done Batman before this, But I was like, oh, Christian Bale like got his first break here, like or not even like that, but like damn, like this dude's doing
he
it.
he was actually acting since he was a child. So there are
Really?
famous feature films where if you go watch it, he's been acting since he was like 12. And he not just like he's like a background character and you can spot him, but he's been one of the main characters, I think, or main family characters in a feature film since he was young.
And Christopher Nolan just like reusing his star actor. He's like, all right,
I
you're a
know. I
star.
guess he was like, Hugh Jackman, this guy's shit. I'm never using him
Nah,
again.
for right, he'd never been used
Cause
again.
I know, never again. But I mean, I liked his performance in this
And this
movie.
was like back to back because if you said, you know, Batman Begins, then he did this movie, then he did the second Batman. This dude
Yeah,
Christopher,
The Dark
this
Knight.
dude Christopher Nolan was pen to paper every day, bro. He was
I
grinding. Like
know.
how,
That's what I think of when because people have asked me, why don't you write? And I think I've told you this before. When it comes to writing, that's a different work ethic. Like James Gunn, Christopher Nolan, these guys probably write from sun up to sundown,
you know,
like multiple movies, meetings, just constant grinding with their art. And I don't know, I don't know, I just don't know if I have that type of passion for the actual making of it. Because watching is one thing, but it's different to have the passion for actually doing the work to make the movie or write it.
like imagine the thousands of iterations and erases and changes and character plots that they've
Yeah,
changed is like, bro, like just to come up with this plot of this movie, imagine how many different directions it could have gone or went before they released the final
yeah,
version. Like I can't even imagine in his head he's like, oh, this plot point I have to fix it with this, and then this plot point he doesn't come back to the, and it's just like such a crazy thing to first you have to just write it, and
yeah,
then even if you write a great thing, you know, the director, the actors or whatever can all fudge it up. And so it's like writing a good script, probably the first part. And then after that, you have to go and execute it to your vision, probably even better to what you envision. And I feel like even that in itself is a really, really hard part. Would you rather write a really good movie or would you rather direct somebody else's okay movie?
if I had to choose only between those two, I would rather direct because I believe that if you're a great director, you could make an average script a great movie. But if you write a great script, it almost depends on the director because a director could also take a great script and make a super shitty movie. So I think your chances of getting a good movie are better if you are the director because then you can make more creative choices. You know, you could change lines on the spot. You have more control over what's happening. But once you are done writing, and if that's it, and you hand it off to the director, you know they could fuck some stuff up, and there's probably nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, that's true. Because you could always polish up their script in a way, or
Yeah, or just visually have fun with it.
that's true. That's true. That makes sense.
What about you?
I don't know. Like, imagine writing like the freaking Harry Potter movies. Like, that'd be a banger, bro. Like, she wasn't directing that, but she kind of helped, write the first story and then probably wrote the script with them. So, like, if I could write like a banger of a movie and have
I think she
Christopher,
just wrote the
no,
books.
I think she helped. I mean, she didn't write the script, but she definitely helped with the script. So, like, if I,
You think so?
yeah, almost 100%.
I bet you there's no writing credit for her.
Bet you there is. She's the one that chose who Harry was. She chose all the characters, I believe. But I for sure know she didn't write it. But if I could do something on that level of, write a script that good and then have Christopher Nolan direct it, bro, like I feel like that's a W in my book, bro. So but I feel like directing would just be more fun. So I think I would choose directing because I think I'll
Yeah.
have more fun. I can freaking sit with Leonardo DiCaprio and have
But you also have to think that all the pressure is on you. So like if you do a bad movie, people don't think about the writers. Like when
that's
Batman
true.
versus Superman flopped, Zack Snyder, I don't think he even wrote Batman versus Superman. But they blamed him for every single element because he did have creative choices, but you get all the glory, but also all the blame if the movie flops.
Yeah, bro. As a seasoned movie critic like myself, like I know what makes a movie good and not good.
There's
So
no chance you wouldn't
yeah, no
make a
chance
banger.
I'm missing these shots, bro. I'm hitting all 3 for 3 because I'm a direct a trilogy and they're all gonna go down in history, bro. But getting into the movie, bro, something that got me. We're getting into the review now, everybody. Prepare yourselves because we're getting into
Prepare
some.
yourself. Spoilers ahead too,
Oh
so
yeah,
go watch the movie before you listen.
yeah. Go watch the movie and then come back to this exact time point. 26 minutes 30 seconds. But something that instantly got me hooked into the movie was the fact that it was about magic because
Really?
me as myself, bro, I don't think you know this. I'm a magician myself, bro. Like
Oh, you dabble?
I dabbled in the arts, bro.
You dabble in the dark arts?
Yes, bro. I I have dabbled in the dark arts. But growing up, bro,
Nice.
I was obsessed with magic. Like I had a phase as like in 5th grade where I just learned so many magic tricks.
Bro, you gotta talk to Xander about that. Xander
Really?
also had a phase where he was like, check this out. He had a deck of cards
Yeah.
and he was just pulling off sleight of hand out of nowhere.
Dude, yeah, magic is so cool. And so I learned so many magic tricks growing up, and I just had them in my repertoire. And then something cool when I was in high school, I was in this program where we would go and talk to like, they said it was for the troubled youth, but these kids weren't like these kids were good kids. And we would just hang out with middle schoolers and elementary schoolers, and we would just like, we're supposed to be like a role model or something. But for me, I was hanging out with them, chit-chatting, and then I had a kid who loved magic. So that re-sparked in high school my magic, and I learned a crazy amount more of magic in high school. So now I have like all these magic tricks, and
I had no idea that you would have like a personal connection to this
yeah.
film
So
or that you'd have any association with that.
and that's what just hooked me immediately. I was like, hell yes, it's about magic. Let's freaking go. Off the rip, I was obsessed. And so as soon as it starts and they're doing magic, I'm like, is this whole movie about magic or is there something? And then I found out it's about magic. And I was like, bro, let's freaking go. So I was really happy to find out that it was about magic. I was like, I can relate to these guys now. I understand what they're.
It's not just a movie about magic, but it's a good ass movie about magic.
Yep. Bro, this movie had me like just thinking, bro. Like every time just thinking. Like I was
Like
hooked.
about the tricks or just what was going on?
Oh, both, bro, both. Because, so, like I know some freaking beginner level magic compared to these guys. And I knew, like, when they spoil some magic tricks, I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Because there's this show that I would watch. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Penn and Teller. Fool Us.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen so many YouTube clips because they're also renowned magicians, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're well known.
Yeah.
So that show, the premise of it is, these guys, world-renowned magicians. They have other magicians come up on the stage and they'll perform a magic trick, and them from the seat, they're trying to guess how they did this magic trick. And so they'll sit there, talk to each other after the magic trick and be like, all right, they think they did this, yada, yada. And then they'll write it down on how they think they did it and show the guy. And if they get it right, then they get nothing. But if they get it wrong or they don't know how they do it, the magician gets like a, Las Vegas performance, something crazy.
Little prize.
Yeah. So as soon as the show started, I was, and they were trying to guess, like, how they did certain tricks. I was like, oh, this is just like Penn and Teller where they're trying to guess the magic. And I even felt from watching, I was like, dude, how did they do that trick? Or what's going on with this trick?
Yeah, because it had to be real since they would show the behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they would do cool tricks. And I was like, I just love seeing the magic part of it. When they're doing magic tricks, I was like, that's so dope. And
Low key, real quick, on Penn and Teller, would you get a little like, I would feel cock blocked every time that they would guess it. I'm just like, I guess it's not that special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would hate that.
You imagine you come up with like amazing trick, bro. You do the teleporting man and they just solve it off the rip, bro. Like,
You saw it.
they're like,
Yeah, that's science. Fuck.
how'd you know, bro? Fuck, damn it.
Yeah, how do you know? God damn it. They know everything.
At least they're secret about it and they write it on a piece of paper paper. Because imagine they just yell it to the
Yeah.
audience. Like,
Bro, that would be crazy if they're like, yeah, we get to guess, but the downside is we will expose you and your career. That'd be career ending.
getting back to the movie, bro, a part that I really like, it resonated with me. Because, like, when you do magic tricks, bro, and you get someone's reaction to be like, what the do it again, do it
Yeah.
again. Or they're just like mind blown. They're like, dude, and like, I've done magic tricks to people. They're like, no way. And they'll call somebody else like, dude, you got to do this magic trick on them. Or like, dude, like, that was so crazy. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Tell me now. And, a magician never reveals his secrets, bro. And so
Never, never.
I resonated with that so heavy. And so the line in the movie that I think hit home, there was a couple, but the one, it was early on, Borden, Christian Bale's character, when he's doing that magic trick
Yeah.
to the little boy, and at the end he's outside talking to him. He says, "The secret impresses no one. The trick you use it for is everything." I was like, "Yes, bro," because
Yeah.
if I were to tell you how I did it, it's like, okay, you lie, but when you use that little trick on how it works to amaze somebody, it's just like that literally is everything, too.
I honestly can't stand, because I've seen some people react to like a magic trick, right?
Yeah.
I get so mad when their first reaction is, he probably just put it behind his
Oh
sleeve.
my
I'm just like,
God.
shut the fuck up. First of all, you don't know.
You don't.
You're just guessing. So don't act like you know.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up. You don't know. And the fact that you have to guess in the first place and you don't know is what's cool about it. You have no
Yeah.
idea how he did that. But I
Yeah.
can't stand when people just act like they're like, I could probably figure that out. Okay, do it. Show me.
You do it then. Here, hold it. That's right.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, like something that happens all the time when you do tricks, they'll ask you to do it again. But this time,
Yeah, they get closer.
they're watching so closely, bro. Like, no shot I'm doing it again, bro, because you're gonna find like what the trick is. And so every time someone asks me to do it again, I tell them no. And I do another trick, or if they want me to do that trick, I'll do it later in the night when they're maybe not close to
Wait,
me.
you straight up say no?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
Good. I love that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Heck
No.
yeah. I'm not gonna do the trick twice, bro. You're gonna spoil my fun, bro. So like, of course not.
Yeah, just be amazed.
Yes.
Walk away.
Walk away. Enjoy that
Walk
moment.
away.
We had a moment. Enjoy
Yeah.
it. Enjoy it. So that line was so cool. I really resonated with. I'm not a crazy magician, but after this movie, hell yeah, I'm a magician, bro. I'm part of that gang, bro. I'm with them.
That's one thing I think this movie did so well, that even if you're not like, I think I tried to learn a couple magic tricks, but I wasn't like into it like you or Xander. But even if you're not, I feel like when you watch a movie that's just about someone's dedication towards a specific art form, you feel like you just get the passion.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that this movie portrayed that, where I was like, I understand the passion or the dedication that magicians have, or not just understand, but I appreciate it, because I'm like, dang, that does take some dedication to hold that fishbowl or something underneath your legs just for the illusion. And that illusion is basically for us. So the amount of commitment that magicians go through just to give us some sort of illusion is super respectable.
That's something like you just also have to respect out of anybody in the arts, bro, because their passion, dedication is never for themselves. It's always for somebody else. Like even if you're as passionate as Gordon Ramsay and you see why he's yelling and screaming at these chefs, it's like bro's trying to make a good meal for these people. Like after watching The Bear, bro, they're trying to make this meal great. They're trying to give the person dining in an experience and
the best service.
Yep, and like you wouldn't really think of that as like the person going into the restaurant, but you can most definitely feel that when they put that effort towards trying to make something great. Like, a songwriter writing for months on end to write a hit song that someone could play, jam in their car and sing their heart out. Like that dedication is just like admirable from like an artist perspective, because most people
It
don't think of it like that.
it really is because at the end of the day, like you just said, that was a perfect example. Gordon Ramsay, when he masters his craft, he's not making food for himself. Like people who master these crafts are all for like us, and it's like they put all this work into into their work of art for us. Same with Christopher Nolan, like writing all these
Yeah.
movies. He could just write it for himself and be like, "Yeah, I like the script," but he
Yeah.
does it because he knows it's for the audience. He does it to give us a good time, and I think that's why anyone can relate, or anyone who watches this movie who has a passion for anything can just connect with it because you see that passion that I think it traverses just not just magic but all art forms pretty much
Yeah.
because everyone wants to have that dedication and that commitment to their art to where their life is kind of represented in such a grand or like not grand but just something they could put all their energy to and be proud of it by the time they die or leave this world. And I feel like that's what makes this movie so relatable in a way.
Yeah, I really like that theme because I guess we're jumping to the end, but if we're talking about theme, but the theme really is like passion and like the great lengths, right, that come with that. Yeah, in this movie they kind of also
Yeah.
show the bad side that comes with, going
Yeah.
crazy overboard. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, this
Physically.
yeah, this first literally physical. Like this movie is just about great passion between two guys. Like, and bro, it's cool how it just starts off early. Like they demonstrate that early on, right? From the first trick, they walk to the back. Like, Borden's character, Christian Bale, he's like, no, he cares so much about trying to be as like legit for the audience. He's like, we need to tie the knot this type of way because it's actually a real knot, and it shows our craft and everything. And then
Yeah.
Angier, Hugh Jackman's character, is more like, no, we're putting on a show. Like we're amazing
Yeah.
these people, right? Like they kind of have the same perspective, but they're going about it from different ways, and it starts really like early on when they introduce these characters on how they see this art, which goes throughout the whole movie. Like, I think Borden's character is like trying to be the best magician possible and push the lengths to as far as he can to be a legit magician, where Angier's character is more like, I'm going to be a showman, I'm going to amaze these people, I'm going to let them have a good time.
Yeah.
And that dynamic kind of carries on throughout the whole movie. um, Something that I really liked from the movie, bro, was these guys are playing the biggest game of 4D chess ever, bro. Like the lengths they go to sabotage each other is
I know
insane.
it's so personal.
Dude,
And I was gonna
yes.
ask you, speaking of the reason that they start attacking each other in the first place, how would you feel if the guy who tied the knot and killed your lover, and you ask him what knot did you tie, and his answer is, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I really wish I knew.
I really wish I knew.
Dude,
I just don't know.
that
Bro,
would
I would be my blood would be boiling.
that would be
The fuck do you mean you don't
heartbreaking.
know?
That's heartbreaking. Like that scene when he shows up to the morgue to see his wife. Like, they're all at the funeral, and then Borden's character shows up, and he's just like kind of
Yeah.
saying sorry. Like that whole scene, you could feel the tension because yeah, as a watcher, you're like, why doesn't he know, right? Like just you should know, bro.
Yeah.
And then Hugh Jackman's acting in that scene, you like feel
Yeah.
sad, bro, because he's like angry, like he has that Wolverine like snare, like like
You don't know the way he screams and it
Ow!
like echoes to the
like
yeah.
bro, that scene, it gave me chills, bro. Just both of them.
He's never. I don't think he's ever brought like a average performance. He kind of does great in like not just great but amazing in any movie he does. Really.
Yeah, this is my third Hugh Jackman movie I've seen. So I haven't seen too many of him,
You've
but
never seen Real Steel?
oh yeah, four. I've seen four.
You never watched the X-Men movies?
Yeah, that counts. That's one of them. Him as Wolverine.
That's not one movie.
Is
That's
that a
like
lot?
no. I'm saying that's not just one movie. That's
I've actually only
like the
seen
X-Men series.
I've actually only seen Logan. So, and the
Oh my
And
God, bro.
the one where he actually becomes Wolverine. I've only seen those two. I'm not an X-Men guy. I don't know any X-Men stuff. Kaylin loves the X-Men, so
That's
I
crazy.
know.
Yeah, Kaylin and I, shout out KK and
Shout out.
Riri. All of us would watch X-Men Evolution. This cartoons, bro. There's so many cartoons as kids watch that I'm like, how did you not see this when it was
Bro, I was on my Disney Channel
coming out?
Nickelodeon grind, bro. I was
Gay.
bro, that's real content out there, bro. That's real life stuff. I was watching Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victoria.
Drake and Josh. No, that stuff's fire. That stuff's fire too. But what I was gonna say was, I'm like, because before we even filmed this podcast, and I was planning to rewatch that movie, that scene is always stuck in my head because there was so much tension between Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale when he confronts him, like, what knot did you tie? And his answer saying, I don't know. At first I was mad, like I was just telling you. But then I thought, oh, based on the twist, right? What if the one who is there apologizing is the brother? So he actually doesn't know. Like, he legit is like, I am so sorry. I don't know what knot my brother tied.
Yeah, and maybe even a level deeper, because you know how committed these guys were to the act and living the same life. Like, maybe the one brother was like, I can't jeopardize telling him the right thing, and then him slipping up, and then now we're not the same person or something like that. So he says, I don't know, and it kind of keeps them both in this check of playing the same persona. But I know we were talking about the 4D chess a little earlier. I just want to bring that back up. Like, when Jackman's character shows up and just freaking shoots him, bro, I was like, what the heck?
Oh my god.
What the...
Oh yeah, because you don't even expect it, because he looks like a regular homeless guy until he kind of lifts up his face, and you're like, oh shit.
And then in the scene before that, he's like practicing sleight of hand with a ball. And then it's kind of like, what is that? Like, they kind of just show a sleight of hand with the bullet. And then it kind of makes sense when he brings it back up in that scene. He just freaking clocks him in the hand. And I'm like, what the heck? But bro gets his lick back in like the next few scenes, bro. He just...
I thought that was more gruesome,
because
you hear like the screeching of the woman. Like,
that was...
the blood. Oh my god.
Dude, that scene was crazy, bro. Bro pulls up, says psych, rips it open, just stabs the lady. Like, but that shows like how good...
Especially because hearing the springs, just like that audio, I think is what sells that scene, because you can, like, I feel it in my... I cringe when I think about the tension releasing in those springs and that, like, snapping your hands or something. Oh my god. Like,
they set that scene up good, because like they show you how powerful that mechanism is, like in the scene before. So when they show it again in that scene, just how powerful. And the lady's screaming, the blood is it's disgusting, bro. It made me cringe, bro. Like
that was a great scene.
But bro got his lick back, so props to him. He was...
He did, I know. That was fun, though. The fact that they were just maliciously like, I'm going to fuck up your show and ruin you.
Dude, these guys went to
it's not just like a...
What?
It's not just like I'm gonna do a better show than you. No. They physically go there and sabotage.
Right?
And like, and it was me, too. I'm not even hiding.
Yeah. So you see my face, bitch? I did this, bro.
Yeah.
Remember me? Remember me?
Yeah.
Bro, like...
What knot did you tie?
These guys are crazy, bro. And that's what I really like. Like, they were going... Borden's trick was so good, bro, that freaking Andrew had to invent a freaking...
literally invent...
Like, a cloning...
invent a teleportation device.
Yes, like, dude's...
Or a cloning device,
Dude's trick was so good, bro. Like, so crazy. And...
Speaking of that trick, did you... When he's trying to figure out how he did it, I'm guessing you were trying to figure out what the trick was. Okay? So before it was revealed to you, did you have any theories on how he was doing it?
I was just like, okay, like what? Like, I feel like they were gonna introduce some like mystical element a little bit. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he's the first thought was like, maybe he does have powers. Like, is that it?
It's so like, good. You're like, that's
I don't
real.
know.
That has to be.
And then my thought was like, okay, he just jumps underneath, runs up, gets shot back up real quick, like all in that 1 second. Like, that's the only, like, if he invented like a cool spring trap that he drops down and then it shoots to
Yeah.
the side and then shoots him up real quick. But no, like,
That's what I thought too. But when you see him, he bounces the ball so fast that it's I think that's very specific to show like, yeah,
yeah,
it's impossible for me to just unless I'm actually teleporting. And I like that because that was again a magic trick that I knew they were kind of playing with something that was real. But even though I'm watching a movie, I'm thinking, how the fuck did he do that? Like
right,
that's it. You can't go from that door to that door that fast.
yeah.
And I was very curious on what he did. I would have never guessed the twist at the end.
I like how crazy Angier's character went. Like, he has a good trick. Like, that's a really good trick. Like, I have no idea how he did it. And then the guy's like, he has a double. Like, come on, it's that easy. He's like, no, he does not have a double. Like, not at all. And the guy's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's a double, bro. Chill. And the guy's like, no, I'm gonna go invent freaking time travel, and I'm gonna freaking get a better trick. Like, dude went psycho over that.
And
And
it's because he knew. He was like, they're so into magic, they
right.
can't deny, like, oh, shit, that is actually a crazy, I can't top that unless I do the exact same thing or dabble in science.
But bro, speaking of the major twist, bro, like we just gotta talk about that twist, bro, because the end, bro, had me like the end was like the most up and down roller coaster of my whole life because, like, before I get into that, I like the scenes where they're reading each other's journals, right? And then he's like,
Yeah.
haha, I got you first. You're reading my journal because I told her to give it to you.
Oh, yeah, because they wrote in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he does that same trick back to him when he's in jail. He's like, haha, well, you're waiting to die. I know. I planned this whole thing out. And you're like, wait, what? He got him this time? And then, then they swoop you around the other way because then, you think Angier's dead, and then he shows up again alive, and you're like, wait, what? Like, okay, it kind of makes sense because he has the clone. Okay, I get that. And then at the end, he's like down there, and then Christian Bale's character shows up again, and you're like, wait, did he survive that neck hanging? Like, I heard the crack, bro. Like,
dude, that is actually my favorite scene in the whole movie. I don't know why, but it feels like I don't even know how to describe it. It's itching itch that I can't reach. The fact that as his final trick goes and he's being hung, he goes abracadabra, and then boom. That's just the most satisfying scene to me because it's like I don't think they ever say that through the whole movie until that final trick because that's like the biggest trick in the whole film. And I just thought it was so satisfying.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good. Like,
yeah.
The way they even just set it up, right? Like, this is what I think makes a really good plot twist, right? Like,
okay,
if you're able throughout the movie to hint at the plot twist without making it too noticeable, right? Like, where it's not obvious, like in plain sight that it's a plot twist, because there's some shows that would do plot twists in a bad way, and it's like, we're gonna lead you left, we're gonna lead you right, we're gonna lead you left, right, never hinting at any sort of plot twist, and then they just throw the plot twist in there, and it kind of comes out of left field. Like, they never set up the plot twist, right? Like a show that me and Kaylin watch, Only Murders in the Building. It's exactly like that, where they do plot twist after plot twist, to the final end, it's a plot twist. And on some seasons, it kind of makes sense, right? But there was just one season where the plot twist made zero sense because you go through 8 episodes, they're leading you left, right. And then, like, on the last 2 episodes, they just introduce a random character, and that character is the murderer. And it's like, well, like, you weren't in the show the whole time. Versus on some of the better seasons, the murderer is actually in the TV show, and they have a part, and they'll kind of hint, like, ever so slightly. But it doesn't ever come, like, boom, random.
It's also cheap. Like what you just said.
Exactly.
It's so cheap because it's the writer's basically admitting, I don't know how to get this or show any of this without you figuring it out. So I'm not gonna let you figure it out. I'm just gonna throw it in at the end because I can't figure out how to put this in the story without making it obvious. So that's just, yeah. If you can't do it, the twist, maybe you shouldn't be doing the twist in the first place. But it blew my mind as well because it's so in your face, but at the same time, you're like, that went over my head, and I didn't even know that they were telling me. Straight up, like the coin scene where he's like two sides of the same coin. I'm like, oh my god, that just fits.
Like that's why I want to rewatch it, bro. That's why I told you, like, as soon as this movie ended, I call Kaylin. I'm like, we're watching this movie again together because one, I want to rewatch it so I can notice all those little ones, but then two, I want her
all the little foreshadows.
Yeah, and then I want her to see this super cool movie. But that's
and it's even in the dialogue too. The way he was like, she asked, "Do you love me?" And he was like, "Not right now." Yeah. I'm just like, it was right there the whole time. You would have never guessed.
And she's like, sometimes you mean it, sometimes you don't. Like I was, I was so confused the whole movie. I was like, why are you with him if like he doesn't love you on some days or whatever, and yada yada yada. And then it makes sense at the end where it's like, oh, okay, sometimes it's him, sometimes it's the brother, but like they portray that character so good, most people can't even distinguish like that he is the brother. And even in that another foreshadow, which I don't know if I'm thinking it too deeply, bro, that same coin scene, you know how they just like kill the bird right there, like just dead.
Oh yeah.
And then one survives. Like they foreshadow a lot with that scene for both of them because one, the kid goes, "What about his brother?"
Yeah, kind of. That's 100% a foreshadow.
Kind of foreshadowing that. And then when there's that other scene where he's like, "You're the lucky one today," that foreshadows, Angier's character where one dies every night, and he's banking on the fact that hopefully he is the correct clone and, he's the lucky one today. And I was like, dude, that first magic trick that they show is kind of the whole movie, right? There's a magic trick where they have brothers, right? The Christian Bale's character. And then they have, Angier's character who kills a guy every night, which is also like, oh my god, like just seeing the bird die, like I was like, oh, is that really what they did? And I'm guessing that's probably what they did back in the day, just kill a bird every night. But
for sure, they did such horrible things. That was probably light work. That was light work to them.
Just another day at the office, gotta kill a bird.
Yeah, just another day at the office for them.
Yeah, like that was tough. So I feel like that was a good foreshadow scene, which is like, that means nothing to nobody when they're watching it for the first time. It feeds into that plot twist because it's like it's always been there, like in your face. Like you're even wondering, like, why is he sending your daughter with this random
random guy? Yeah, you can't even tell that's that's him in disguise, his twin brother.
Yeah, and then he like takes care of him at the end. You're like, what is going on? So, like, they did that plot twist so good. They hid those things so good, and I think that's what really made that end scene just hit, bro. That was a real prestige right there, bro.
Exactly. So I actually wanted to ask you, you've seen The Dark Knight, right?
Is that the first one?
That's the second one.
Oh, yes, with
So you've seen The Dark Knight. Have you seen Inception?
Oh, yes.
Interstellar?
I'm going to say yes. I just don't remember it.
What about Tenet or Dunkirk? Have you seen those ones?
No, I haven't seen those two.
Okay, because I was going to say, out of all of his movies, I know The Dark Knight is incredible, so is Inception, but I just feel like after watching this movie, I got so invested into the characters and their lifestyles that I don't know. This might be I'm not going to say it's his best work because Interstellar is definitely a movie that is just one of the greatest of all time. The scale, the graphics, the acting, the story is just completely innovative. Same thing with The Dark Knight, the cultural impact. But personally, I feel like The Prestige just hits. Like it's just probably my favorite Christopher Nolan movie out of all of his movies.
'Cause it's not like so crazy. Like, yeah, they have some crazy things, but it's like you feel invested with the characters. You feel invested with this plot from scene to scene. It's like the most
Uh,
immersive ever. Versus these other ones are a bit, grand scale and you know
yeah, exactly.
bigger than
Like you feel
life.
more like this movie can exist, or it might have actually happened because it uses real life characters as well,
Yeah,
like Nikola Tesla,
yeah,
and I think they refer to other famous magicians, and
yeah.
it just feels like something that could have existed, and I think that's why I feel more immersed in the whole story.
And like no one talks about this movie because I've never heard about this movie. Like,
That's what I was telling you. I'm like, this is such a good movie that nobody talks about,
yeah.
and it's Christopher Nolan, so you have more of a reason to talk about it. But people don't give this movie its credit. Like this movie deserves all the credit for being incredible.
Yeah, because when you hear Christopher Nolan, I immediately think Batman. Immediately think Interstellar, and I guess I could even
Yep.
think now the atomic bomb one,
Oh, Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oppenheimer. So you think of these like crazy, blockbuster movies that,
Yeah, but nobody will bring up The Prestige for some reason.
well, because I'm guessing it probably wasn't a blockbuster. Like, do you know the ratings? Like, how good did it do?
I'm not exactly sure. It has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, that's pretty good. Like I feel like the other movies are like massive blockbusters, which is why they're talked about, because everyone probably saw them in theaters and everyone talks about them since then. But this one, like, I've never heard the name The Prestige ever in my life.
I didn't either. Andrew, my older brother, for those who don't know, he just had this film on Blu-ray, so he knew about it completely, and he knew how good it was, and he put me on. And I remember putting it on, and I fell asleep halfway through because I was
Oh,
just not in the mood to watch a movie, and it was moving kind of fast, and some have British accents, and I wasn't able to connect what was going on. But then one day, I really started the movie from like beginning to end, and I was just hooked. Like I immediately knew is such an incredible movie that should be talked about more. Bro, you want to hear a rotten review?
let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear the Rotten
This one
review.
is from this is from Atlantic City Weekly by a girl named Lori Hoffman. She said, "This odd tale about obsessive Victorian era magicians and their blood feud isn't nearly as enchanting as it should be." Fuck you, Lori. Yes, this movie
You
is.
don't know what she's talking about, bro. They need to put
She
us
didn't know
on
what the
the.
hell she's talking
They
about.
need to freaking ask first time pictures or what they think about it because that's a freaking Atlantic Pictures who?
That's what
Like,
I'm saying.
who are
Listen to
they?
this review. Susan Tavernetti said, "There's no real magic here." What?
Damn. No real magic. The whole freaking movie, girl. Uh,
I know
did,
this movie's magical. That was your one word.
did you not see that bird die, bro? Like, that's magic, bro. Like, it made him appear. Like, the magic box, bro, he transformed from one box in. What? This girl thinks magic's real, bro. Like, she believed in the tooth fairy, probably. And when it got spoiled, bro, she said, "Oh, I hate this, bro." She probably thought magic was real. Said, "Oh, these guys don't do real magic. They only do tricks and illusions." Like, this girl is a goofy, bro. She don't know what she's talking about.
I know. Some of these reviews, when I'm reading them, I'm just like, I know I can be a hater and pretentious, but these people sound like a level of pretentious that is insufferable. Like, if they start talking about movies, I just want to punch them in the face. Like, just shut up. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Your opinion is invalid, bro.
Literally. One more.
Let's hear it.
What the Prestige and filmmaker Nolan seem to have forgotten about magic is the very important element of misdirection. Without misdirection, an audience is bound to discover the trick and not. You knew. There's no way this person
What?
knew the brother twist like that.
What?
They're acting like the whole plot was obvious. Like, shut up. What are you talking
Bro, what
about?
do you mean misdirection? Like you're watching the behind the scenes, girl. That's like why you know.
I
That's why you
know,
know what's
right? Go
going
watch a real
on.
magic show.
Yes,
Go watch Penn and Teller.
dude,
Then
you'll
what the
see
hell?
misdirection, bro. But you got the behind the scenes. That's why you freaking know. And oh my god, that's not even a real.
I know,
Like,
right?
you're
It's
you're
like
trolling.
triggering.
You're trolling, bro. That's not a real review. That's not real. right?
That's why sometimes you gotta read the reviews because they say some shit that does not make sense. They sound all fancy, but they do not make sense.
Bro, so at the end of their feud, bro, who do you think won the feud at the end? Like their rivalry at the end, like who really won this like battle? Cause
You could say the brother won, but the only asterisk on that is the one who was hung, who ended up being hanged, was the real dad, right,
you
of the
think so?
daughter.
You think so?
I think that wasn't like a mystery. I think that that's what happened. Like the brother, like her uncle is the one who stayed alive, which kind of left like a very melancholic feeling for me at the end of the film because that's what I remember seeing, that it was obvious that it was the brother who was left to take care of the girl. So I didn't feel like there was a winner because I'm like, damn, both of the kind of main people died, and the brother who was playing the side character is the one who.
But we really don't know who the real brother is because they're both like
That's true. They both played the side character
well,
most of the
well,
time.
because like yeah, I mean, I guess there is a real brother because the real brother like had the wife and all that, and then the other brother's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
one that had the
I guess that's
affair.
what I mean. He's kind of the one who was more upfront. Like the one who had the wife was the one, I think, who spent more time as the main magician, and also had the daughter. I'm pretty sure, which is why I don't think he necessarily won, because even though he did, you know, his brother lived on and he bested the other magician, he still died, and he died knowing his daughter doesn't really get her real dad.
Could you, wait, so you think it's that obvious, like who's who the whole time?
Yeah, well, I think it wasn't. I think the movie doesn't try to avoid it. I think it's there, maybe not talked about, but it's like, oh, when he loves her, it's that brother, and when he doesn't, it's the other
Yeah,
brother, and
sure.
the one who's cheating is the other brother, and the
Yeah.
one who loves the daughter is that other guy. So you can assume which one's
I'm
which based
actually
on.
I'm actually glad that it was the brother having, I guess, not an affair because I really like Borden's character and I was like, no, bro, why you cheating, dude?
Oh,
Like,
he just seemed like a bad
yeah,
guy.
I was like, no, that sucks, dude. Like, I like you, but
Husbands,
like,
any dads watching this, that will not work. You gotta actually have a twin brother.
dude, like, I was just like disappointed, and then it kind of helps when you find out he's a 20. Okay, okay, he's a good guy. He's a good. The only reason I thought it was the original brother at the end was because he was happy to be with the daughter when he shows up and picks her up. I feel like
Uh huh.
he would be he would be super happy to be with her versus the brother. Maybe would be like, I don't care about this child, but maybe they share the child. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it
It's
is. That's his
and
niece.
that's good about movies, right? Like when it has you like, I feel like we've talked about this before. Like I'm the type to be like, all right, I want you to tell me every aspect of the movie and be like, this is this way. Versus this one kind of keeps it up in the air for you to discuss and talk about it. And that's where it's like, like I hate it, but then it makes it like really good because it's like, dude, this guy, he could have written it in there to be like, and this was
Yeah,
the original dad, but he's like, nah, like I'm gonna let the people talk about it and debate it.
you're smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. So
So let's get into our ratings.
how? Oh, I got one, bro. Easy.
Okay, go.
How many alakazams out of 10 are you giving this movie, bro?
Alakazam,
Abracadabra. I'm sorry. Let me say that again.
abracadabra.
How many abracadabras, 1 out of 10, are you giving this?
10 out of 10 abracadabras. Every time I give it a ten out of 10, for those listening, it's just because there's nothing I want to change from the film. Maybe you could say they could have better music, but I'm not desiring any more. Like this
Yeah,
movie satisfies me with everything. There's nothing I would change, and I don't think there's nothing that would make the film necessarily better.
that's respectable, bro. That's a good rating.
So, how many abracadabras are you giving this movie?
How many abracadabras? 1 out of 10 am I giving this, bro? I think we have a first time pictures first, bro, because I'm giving this a 10 out of 10.
Let's
Abracadabra!
go!
10 out of
That's
10, baby.
Julian's first ever 10 out of 10. He rated the movie in the first second he saw the magic trick. 10
Dude,
out of 10.
my mind was set,
he didn't even care
bro.
about
Like,
the rest.
you said what I was gonna say completely, bro. I wouldn't change anything. I had zero gripes, bro. Like, did you notice? No gripes on this segment?
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Like, no gripes. All
I'm supposed to be the
positives.
critic, but you usually are like, this is stupid.
The gripes, yeah. Zero gripes on this movie. Everything is good. It wrapped it up perfectly. Gave you a perfectly ending movie. It brought everything together. It brings you on an amazing freaking ride of emotions, and everything is just so good. It deserves nothing less than a 10 out of 10, bro. So, first time pictures
From
first,
now on, bro. I'm only recommending magic movies from now on.
Bangers?
I gotta get you now.
Dude, okay. The magic did get me,
Now
bro.
you
It
see
did get me. That's a good one. Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I have not.
Okay, that one has Hugh Jackman as well.
I've heard only good things about it. I would be interested. But so after our ratings, you were telling me you got a movie recommended by one of our dedicated Patreon subscribed listeners.
Yep. This is a recommended movie I know nothing about, but it kind of ties into a conversation we were having the other day where we were wondering what takes longer, stop motion animation or drawn frame by frame. So we just watched Millennium Actress, where it's a hand drawn frame by frame movie, amazing movie, right? And I got recommended this movie by one of our dedicated viewers, and I saw that it was stop motion. I think she said it's written or it's in French, but I'm gonna give us the pass to watch the dub version. So
you can watch the dub version.
No, you're watching it in French, bro?
Yes,
Oh my God.
you gotta watch the OG. You gotta watch the original.
Okay, fine. I'll watch it in French. So the movie that what?
Sorry, real fast. I will consider watching dub if they get a legit dub. Like if they have like A-list actors in the cast, I'll consider it. But if it's just some other people then I'm watching sub.
It's okay.
I can read.
Okay. That's respectable. That's respectable, and because we're passionate of the craft, bro. We have to watch it in the way it was intended. So
you're telling me don't watch it on my phone.
Bro, don't watch it on your phone, bro. We gotta go watch it in freaking the silver screen and watch it in 4D and get the full immersion. But anyways, the movie sorry, I was reading something. The movie we are gonna be watching next week is called My Life as a Zucchini. So
let's go.
Kind of a random title.
This is a VeggieTales spinoff.
Yeah. Hey, you've had your fair share of VeggieTales, bro. You know VeggieTales.
I have.
The little Christian boy over here grew up. So My Life as a Zucchini, I know nothing about it beside the fact that it's a claymation and it has some good reviews. So I'm excited because this is finally a movie where we both know absolutely nothing about it. Like, nothing.
Rihanna, if you're listening, Julian told me that he's like, somebody recommended this movie. I immediately went, Rihanna. Yeah. I know that was Rihanna. I know she recommended that movie.
Speaking of Rihanna, I need to give this week's shout out because in the Millennium Actress, I said if you comment keys, and this person did comment a little late, but no biggie, bro. We understand you can't watch the episode the minute it comes out. So this week's shout out for commenting keys goes out to Rihanna. She commented under our Instagram post. So thank you for being a supporter of First Time Pictures and a loyal Patreon subscriber for $100 a month. You're a real one. So we appreciate the support, and you earned yourself a shout out from First Time Pictures.
If you get another shout out,
Oh.
we'll let you into the secret pod.
Oh, she don't know about
you
that
get
one.
to where you get to hear all of Julian's racist rants.
No,
Only for a
Anthony
special-
unhinged.
No.
Bro,
No.
bro just loves to out me, bro. Exposing me, bro. Come on, this is for the Patreon only.
That's
pod,
why
bro.
it's a secret pod, bro. That's why it's a secret pod. Only special viewers can listen to that.
You're You're right.
Okay, yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Catch you in the next episode.
Oh my god.
What?
Is
What? You didn't like that?
Is that your outro, bro? Come on, bro. People just listen.
I don't know. It's just on the spot.
Bro, people listen to us for an hour 20 minutes, an hour 12 minutes for that, bro. No, we got to end it with a banger, bro. Shout out to everyone whoever made
All
it
right.
this far.
Shout out to everyone.
Oh my god, why you sound depressed, bro? Shout out to everyone who made it this far into the episode. We'll see you guys in next week's episode where we'll be reviewing My Life as a Zucchini. And until then, we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.